Hi guys, I am Mac Daddy, and I'm here part of the Call to Action crew to do a badass episode of Schmoebate, Thanksgiving edition. So, hello, welcome. If this is your first time with us today, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And I have some badass people here with me today. Kelsey, what's up, girl?
Hey, I'm so excited. It's my first time co-hosting Schmoebates, and I am super stoked. I can't wait to see this match and get to be a part of it. So I am excited to get started.
Yeah, heads up, my action cat might be popping up every now and again. He's so fucking vocal, aren't you, buddy? Oh, now you're quiet? Whatever, I don't care. And we have some really cool competitors here today. We have Kevin Moreno, brand new to the Schmoebates world. And also we have Ryan Payne, who's returning to Schmoebates. He played in a previous match just a few weeks ago, and we played so well, so we wanted to welcome him back. So thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you. I definitely looked forward to coming back. I mean, after my last run, it's pretty clear that I didn't take it that well. But, it's like anyone can take one loss. Anybody can take one loss and move forward. And to be honest, I've found this new practicing method while playing that I feel keeps me focused and keeps me more attentive. So it might be distracting to much people watching, but trust me, you will completely see it the moment we get started.
I'm excited to see those strategies come to light for sure. Okay, well, before we get into it, this is the Thanksgiving edition, so let's talk some food for a little hot minute. What's everyone particularly extra excited or super thankful to be eating come tomorrow? Kevin, what are you excited to eat?
I am thankful and super excited to eat some honey baked ham and cream corn on my Thanksgiving meal.
Cream corn, very underrated, so good. Is that something you only eat on Thanksgiving, or is it also like a treat every once in a while?
It's I get a lot of food around Thanksgiving. Since I'm always the first one to hop in the line to eat with my family, I usually get the drumstick. I'm the one I'm the one person that easily that gets it every time.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you know what? Everyone has traditions. That's true. And also, Jeremiah wants to say his favorite is tuna mac. So, controversial pick. Not gonna lie. But what about you, Ryan? What's your big? Who's your MVP at the Thanksgiving table?
Well, for a while, it used to be just eating stuffing, mainly because my dad made it. But now my family has been implementing some new dishes. Like my mom likes to buy Cornish hens. My sister. She, even though no matter what happens, she sees Thanksgiving as the opportunity to actually get something she wants to have, which is mainly just lobster or steamed crab.
What? You know what?
Our last Thanksgiving, she bought lobster just to steam it and serve it, and she didn't care if nobody else went for it. She just wanted to cook it.
You know what? There's no better time of year. Let's be honest. What about you, Kelsey? Any weird side items that you're excited for?
Okay, so I am gluten intolerant, which means I can't eat most of the fun stuff for Thanksgiving. So my new favorite has been mashed potatoes. I just look forward to some really good mashed potatoes.
For sure.
You can never go wrong with mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes. Oh my gosh. Mashed potatoes. I just want a plate, a standalone plate dedicated for me of mashed potatoes.
I will get a mini bowl and then just get all my food.
That's like my
mashed potatoes.
I was looking over. There's an Excel spreadsheet was actually sent to Luke's and I think earlier this week. Yeah, it's earlier this week or late last week, and we were told of what everyone is bringing or making or whatever it might be. And my stepmother-in-law, she's making shrimp scampi. So I was like, oh, all right.
I had that at a previous Thanksgiving. Yeah, at my grandma's.
I'm here for it. Heck yeah. Ooh, my charger. I gotta charge my laptop. There we go. Whammy. But yeah. Okay, well, before we kind of dive in, and speaking of food, that actually ties into our first question. But before we go into that, we're gonna go ahead and elaborate on the rules and everything real fast. Ryan, I know you are more than familiar, obviously, but just kind of dive into it again. So we're going to go into 2 questions. 2 questions to begin with, and if it is a tie with 1 on each with Kevin and Ryan, and then we're going to go into a 3rd question. So for the first part, it's going to be the opening statement at 60 seconds, and where they kind of make their general argument and the reason why, all that good stuff, and then after that will be 4 minutes of debate, of argument to the death. And it's going to be real fun. And during that time, Kelsey and I, we're going to be making a whole bunch of notes. And we're going to be asking questions every once in a while, if needed, if we notice they're kind of ignoring a statement or whatever it may be. And lastly, there will be a closing statement. And I will remember to ask about the closing statement. I keep forgetting to ask about it. So I'm like, it will happen. And it's gonna happen, guys. But yeah, so we're gonna do that for both questions. Now, just last week as well, we asked a whole bunch of you guys what Thanksgiving related questions you guys want to ask. And Mr. Billy Belford, he actually had his question picked to be our first question today, which is why it kind of dives around food. So our first question is, what Schmoedown character would you want to be your partner in a food fight? Okay. Now, before we start answering that, I'm going to flip a coin. Our Action Industries coin. Action. Look at that. Whammy. Only the cool cats have it. Oh, look at that. The supreme size.
Yeah.
Oh, and the loser trader side, but whatever. But Ryan and Kevin, choose a side.
Bateman.
Bateman. Hi, buddy. Okay, and Kevin, you got Ghai?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. And it's Bateman. All right. So our opening statement's going to go with you and your answer. So, Ryan, what's your answer to what Schmoedown character would you want to be your partner in a fight? What the fuck do you want, Kat?
I guess he had an answer.
There you go. He has some arguments for you. And on the clock, Kelsey, you ready to go?
Alrighty, gonna push start in 3, 2, go.
Now, when it comes to a food fight, mainly you gotta want to have somebody who's pretty much the entire package. They'll have your back in a fight. You also want to make sure they're not gonna be someone you can mess with. But at the same time, if a fight does happen, they're gonna be the biggest gun in your arsenal. And my pick is Kevin Smets. Now, with Kevin Smets, him being part of the dungeon, this man gives off an intimidating aura the moment he enters a room. Not on purpose, it's just, the way it is. Also, when he walks in with those hoodies, last thing you want to see is, this is a guy I kind of want to mess with. So when a food fight breaks out, who do you want someone to have your back, to be your big gun, and also at times be able to scare off opponents away? And that is Kevin Smets. And I'm going to stop there.
All right, you have 10 seconds to spare.
Okay. So, Kelsey, what were your big takeaways from Ryan's argument so far?
Definitely that Kevin Smets being very intimidating and scary will be intimidating to the opposing side, and I definitely see that, and I feel like that was a very good, valid point. So,
right. Yeah, for sure. And we're going to be going over to Kevin. So, yours, and let's hear what your argument is.
With me, I easily pick Brendan Meyer because he is young, but he can be very imaginative. I mean, you see him partnering with Bibbs, and that imagination and creativity could get creative with fights.
You said he's creative with fights?
Yeah, yes. Yes, because with the creativity of that means people will be more unexpected with him, with the creativity. Okay. Sure, he can bring people fear, but why bring fear when you can easily surprise them? Surprise them with he easily throw up from people could throw. Oh, he could throw. he could easily throw let's say a balloon of mustard at someone. So would people expect that?
All right. Well, my big takeaways from that was, he's a very
Yeah, don't pay attention to me. This is my practice.
Of course. Okay, so my big takeaways there is that you think he would be a really good, solid partner. He's just a very overall. He's a young competitor that you feel like he's good with. He's very useful in a variety of ways, but he's very creative with the fights. He's definitely going to hit you in ways that you don't really expect to see coming. But also he's really creative with strategy as well, and what you think he's going to choose to hit you with. It's going to be a little expected. So if it's just going to be a chicken wing, might be a thing of mustard or something like you said. All right. I can't go. What do you do?
I mean, someone is actually ready for a food fight.
Panda. Debating panda. Garth, you nailed it. Oh, look at it. Debating panda. All right. Now, again, the way we kind of go about this, going about the second rounds. Now, I want you guys to all pull up your Facebook things. That way, you can check it out. And one of the people from the Call Action Group is going to be making a vote here pretty soon of who do you think deserves a point? Do you feel like it's going to be Kevin, or do you think it's going to be Ryan? And now, again, you're not going to be able to bring your personal biases into this. Even if you love Kevin Smets, part of the dungeon, and you're a dungeon head, you can't vote for him just because, because he's awesome. Let's face it. But you have to go with strictly from these arguments.
Exactly.
Okay. Now it's really going to be hard to put personal biases aside, but we must.
We will do it.
All right. Okay. So going into 4 minutes on the clock. You ready?
All right. 3, 2, 1, start.
Look, Kevin, I appreciate you picking Brendan for your pick, but the thing is, when you go into a food fight, creativity is just one part of the battle. Another part of the battle is psychological warfare, and Kevin Smets works that way, not just because of his figure, but because the fact is, when he comes, you don't know what he's thinking when you go into this room, when you go into a fight against him. Sure, when you see him in a Schmoebate match, he is 100% going to bulldoze all the way through you. But the one thing that was scary about Kevin when he started was not knowing what his strengths were. Either he was good at Marvel, DC, Middle Earth, or even just some random movie quotes. In a food fight, you have no idea what he's going to pick for his weapon. He could throw mashed potatoes at you. Hell, he could maybe get creative and use shrimp scampi or broccoli or vegetables, not just go for an easy chicken leg like Brandon would.
Would you? Yes, of course it would go for a chicken leg, but what do you think? Do you think it would just be some kind just like puny chicken leg? No, it's gonna probably have some ketchup, mashed potatoes, corn on it. It's gonna throw it at them. It's gonna cause a bigger mess. Sure. I mean, like, he doesn't bring the fear into it, but no, the cunningness of it. I mean, like, would you expect a Brandon Meyer to actually do it? No, you wouldn't, because you think like, he's such a sweet kid. He could like do it. Like, no, but
there's the fault in your logic there, Kevin. When this is a food fight, except for the person next to me, I trust no one across the floor with me. So if someone like Brendan Meyer is next to, let's say, a dish of meatballs, do I think he's not going to pull for it? Oh, I 100% believe he's going to go for those meatballs. And yeah, he might get creative with it, but with Kevin, he immediately neutralizes and sees Brendan as the threat. And before Brendan can even reach for those meatballs, he has thrown a pie right at him to distract him. And from there on in, we are going to collaborate, coordinate, and find out who on the battlefield to take out. Either it's going to be Brendan, you, maybe if you're bringing Bibbs as backup, because with Kevin, he already knows who he wants to take out. And knowing that he's got my back means I don't have too much to worry about being attacked from behind with someone who's going to throw spaghetti at me or, throw a water balloon full of cherry soda.
Sure, you would expect that, but he would have already attacked you with a ketchup packet. He would have probably sneaked a ketchup packet right under your seat, and then with the moment you sat down, you already been hit.
Okay, so what I'm hearing specifically, it sounds like you're doing a lot of psychological warfare and getting creative with what you're actually throwing itself. Can you talk a little bit more about using the room, getting creative, and how you're flipping tables over and like hiding behind sofas and stuff, and kitchen islands? Kind of, can you go into that a little bit more?
1 minute.
Well, if we are going to be using, like, let's say this is going to be a regular living room with a kitchen island, then immediately
Or not kitchen, maybe it's outside. Get creative.
Oh, it's outside. Then immediately Kevin and I are going to flip over the dinner table and use that as a cover. But at the same time, we have already isolated certain areas. You see the grill. No one's going to want to go in there because it's the heat. Well, guess what? Kevin's got that hoodie on. And myself, I'm probably going to be coming with something like a jacket. So we're okay with being outside sweating, okay? This is war. We're expecting to go through every kind of weather condition. Is Brendan? No, with that blazer on, he's going to want to keep that neat and pristine.
20 seconds.
Last thing he wants is gravy all over it.
See, but here's the thing. You'll be really thinking, oh, he's open over here. Like, no, we'll be hidden in the leaves. No one would expect go inside the leaves. When we go in there, pop out, and then throw the food right at you.
4,
But we'll
3,
immediately identify him, and then we're going to throw
1.
more gravy at him, and just to, Oh, man.
All right. Thank you so much, Kelsey.
You
I
are
really
welcome,
turned
girl.
myself into a panda.
That was fun. Your first argument, Kevin. How do you feel after your first debate?
Well, I was nervous at the time because I'm like oh crap. Because like there have been some quick pause where I'm thinking, okay, I had like my mind was not clearly in state. So, but I think after this the debate part, I think I got it down. Okay.
Things happen for sure. It was your first time, and so hopefully you'll get more comfortable, as we kind of go further into this episode.
For sure.
That's usually the way it goes. Thank you, babe. I know, closing fucking statements. I'm aware. I'm aware. But yeah, so there's definitely some things you kind of touched on. I'm hoping you guys are going to go into a little bit more during your closing statements. You really kind of were able to balance each other out on a few ways. Kelsey?
Closing arguments.
I know!
Wow. The last match really must have been that rough.
What were you saying?
Anyway, okay, so Lucas is actually the low-key the third host of the Schmoebate. Heads up, guys. Okay, Kelsey, what were some of your things that your big takeaways on this match? I mean, they talked a lot of things, but what was like the key points that you're kind of hoping that they're really going to complete their thoughts on as they go into their closing arguments?
Yeah, the argument for Brendan with the false insecurity, I definitely could see that with him because you would not expect him to be brutal in a fight, but that's great because then people underestimate you. So I could totally see that being a great way to be helpful during a food fight. And then Matt's like the whole argument about hiding under the grill, I thought was great. It's like, yeah, because like you're just a wild card at that point. I'll be like, if I was fighting you and you guys were doing that, I'd be like, I don't even know what to do right now. So yeah, definitely. I think that those are both really cool arguments for this fight.
Absolutely. It's great visualization. That was
great
really
visuals.
Great. For sure. I love the idea of this whole psychological warfare thing going on with Smets and, like you mentioned with Smets and how he's able to kind of predict based on like what's around you, things like that. But, he's able to kind of create a lot of strategy, whether it be inside or outside. But also with Brendan, he's, like you mentioned, he's very cunning. You don't expect anything coming at him. He's wearing a blazer, but, how much is he going to care about that? Is he going to want to keep it clean? I don't know. Is he going to bring Bibbs on board? I don't know. I'm surprised neither one of you talked about bringing in either faction heads. Would Brendan bring in his teammate? Would he bring in Kaiser or Zipper? I don't know. I was surprised no one actually brought up the individual factions as well, as like friends as part of the crew, as for a food fight of sorts. But yeah, so those were my big takeaways. And everyone in the chat, thanks for hopping on if you just hopped on. But please pull up your Facebook post and make your vote after for who you think deserves this point after the closing statements. And so we're going to go ahead and do it again. And are we going to stick with Bateman for you, Ryan, and Ghai for you, Kevin?
Yeah.
I was going to say let's switch, but let's stick with them.
Okay.
Oh shit! I was right on the keypad. Sorry. Oh shit! That's loud.
It's like watching broken meth with the
Fucking
bat.
loud. Okay, it was Bateman again. It is Ryan. So you got 60 seconds on the clock.
All right.
Do
Sorry.
your closing statement.
3, 2, go.
Ultimately, when it comes down to a food fight, the moment the first shot has been fired, it's all bets are off. Now, with Kevin Smith, of course, throughout the entire dinner, he can be a very sweetheart talking to you, really telling you great stories, having some great anecdotes. But the moment he is hit by a mashed potato, it's on. It doesn't matter anymore. He's going to put that hoodie back. He's going to put that hoodie over his head, and we're going to go to war. Now, of course, we could bring the dungeon involved, but let's be honest. When Kevin started off, it was just him and Kaiser. Kevin needed nobody to back him up. He was a lone soldier. People comparing him to Goldberg. All it was about was who's next. And when it comes down to a food fight, when you have someone on your side, you need to make sure that this person can take down your opponent and then wonder who's next on the food fight. Is he going to take down your mom with some spaghetti? Yes. Is he going to take down your dad with some champagne, a little bit of the bubbly? Of course he will, because it's all about surviving in the end. And I pick Smets for that.
Nice timing there. All right.
Normally, when that happens, I always yell "fuck" because I want to do more.
It's hard not to. For sure. Okay, so like you mentioned, it's all about distraction and strategy. Okay, for sure. Okay, now before we kind of talk about who we think,
Well, we have.
what side we're on. Oh, sorry.
We still have Kevin's closing.
Oh
statement.
no, that's what I was about to say. Right before we kind of make our assumptions, let's jump over to you, Kevin. Let's hear your closing statement in favor of Brendan Meyer.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. Oh,
2,
sorry.
1. Go.
All right. With Brendan Meyer, we know his innocence and well could get him through this. But he'll be able to withstand it. He withstood many rounds in the latest free for all. He can did we expect it? Yes, no. We were surprised by this, but and in the food fight, he's creative.
He said he's going to be creative.
Yeah, it's creative. He's unexpected, and of course he would not care about if Blazer gets messed up. He probably has many Blazers.
Many Blazers indeed. For sure. Okay, now we have our closing statements. I'm going to double check on Facebook that we have the vote up and running.
Okay.
And boom, boom, boom. Perfect. Okay, so we have it's on there. Please vote right now. Pull it up. Actually, I'm going to see about I'm going to post it real quick for you guys. I'm just going to post it in the chat right fucking now. Whammy! Just to make it a little bit easier, guys.
There you
Right
go.
there. It's right there, guys. Right there. But please vote. And we're going to go ahead and make it. Obviously, it takes like longer than 30 seconds to kind of make that vote and make your judgments. So we're going to kind of find out, after our second question, to really kind of make the assessment, who we think is the winner for today. Okay, so let's kind of go to the comments just a little bit. Thrawn says, just pop in and say hi. Gonna go watch my buddy stream for a bit. Hey, thanks for coming. We appreciate it. So we have Paul saying, what happened to the shut up motherfuckers alarm? That's a really difficult question. We really have to go into.
Not as entertaining as when I do it, so.
Kelsey, you're our actual one. All right. Brian Fernandez, it's official. Kevin X has stopped working. Yeah. That's whammy. Holy cannoli. All right. We have some other one. What's that? Oh, whoopsie. Wrong one. All right. Yeah, so yeah, it just keeps popping up. Ultra Panda. Ultra Panda. I think Ultra Panda.
Thanks, Brian.
That's for sure. All right.
Boys never go to debate with the panda. Pandas always win.
Pandas. I just think
Now
when
I'm
someone says
measuring-
that thing of panda, I just think of Guardians of the Galaxy. Dirty trash panda.
Unfortunately, in San Diego, pandas are no longer at the zoo, so it's kind of like a sore subject. So I want to honor them.
Oh no.
I don't want to get depressed on Thanksgiving Eve, dude. But yeah,
Sorry.
it's
Sorry.
yeah. Are you for Thanksgiving? Do you guys have any massive plans or anything like that? Or are you just kind of hanging or what?
Oh, there's gonna be a big family dinner. I just don't know where. Either my uncle, who
Well,
likes
considering
to
it's tomorrow, you should probably get on that.
Oh no, I know there's a big family dinner, but I don't know if it's gonna be one or two because my uncle, he likes to do his own dinner where he has lots of soul food cooked, and then my mom will get everybody else together to where it's just okay, bring your own dish, like sort of like a potluck
Really,
Thanksgiving.
yeah. Gotcha. That's pretty cool.
But of course, we
I
have a
would
little bit of
prefer that rather than putting a lot of the pressure on one or two people, you know, unless they like that kind of thing. But,
Actually, pressure worse because then it's more like, am I gonna make something or just run to the store or run to the closest market and buy some pie?
yeah, Lucas had me take a run to the store to get some gooey butter cake, which is very much a St. Louis thing. What about you, Kelsey? You're taking a little drive here.
Yeah, I am tomorrow morning driving to Colorado so I can hang out with my grandma. So that'll be fun. However, it's been snowing and I'm driving in the mountains, so see how that goes.
Some beautiful views. So
yes, it will be pretty for sure.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Kevin? What are you gonna do for tomorrow for Thanksgiving?
Well, basically, is we're gonna go celebrate at my cousin's house, which is just a walk uphill.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, our aunts and uncles are handling the foods.
Mm-hmm.
Each of them has different parts. My parents are bringing are handling the turkey,
Mm-hmm.
and around there we basically my brother and I and the rest of the cousins, we basically
What's happening there?
I'm completing the panda look. My big list gave it away. My big list wasn't enough.
Yeah, it must be nice, Kevin, that it's so close, so you don't have to like drive like hours or something like that, like Kelsey, unfortunately. But
oh yeah, like we usually our families usually take turns. About one is last year we did it at my uncle's house, which lives like a 20-minute drive. The other is another one is an aunt and uncle that lives a 25-minute drive as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so usually it's just scattered, and who claims it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're pretty. I mean, that's a pretty tight crew, though. I'm a little jealous, not gonna lie. I got 3 Thanksgivings to hop on over to over the next few days, so
wow,
it's gonna be a workout for my belly. That's gonna be a lot of food. So,
that's the best positive. You're gonna save so much.
I have to work it out though. I try to go to Orange Theory for a class for tomorrow morning, but they're already full, so I'm sad about that. But I'm signed up for a class on Friday, so to work some of it out.
Yeah,
like that.
Always look.
All right. Okay. So I'm just gonna check in real quickly on the page and see how it's going. And it is loading and it is taking forever. Oh my gosh, what is going on?
Last minute, people want to change their minds. Like, no, wait, we're going with Brendan. No, we're gonna do it with Spence.
Okay. All right. So going into the Schmoebate. Going into this Schmoebate, we currently have Ryan in the lead at 9 votes to Kevin's 2 votes.
Hooray, you got votes.
Hey, you got votes, yeah.
Sure. And, you know, Kevin, it's like awesome. Like I mentioned, this is your first debate. That was your first one, so you knocked it out of the park. That was your first one. So now we're done with that one. You know, we're on to the next one, and, you know, it's going to be that much more effective for sure. So let's go into the second one. Kelsey, do you want to do the honors in reading the the next
We're mixing it up on you guys at the last minute.
Hey, dark. What's up?
Wait, did you guys get hacked by a certain bot all of a sudden?
Exactly. Kelsey, you want to read the question number 2 before I flip the coin real quick?
I would be happy to. All right. So for question number 2, we have, who would you want to be your wingman for Black Friday shopping?
All right. And I'm going to flip it real quick. I'm going to actually do it on the floor where it's not as noisy. And it is Ghai. So, Kevin, you're going to have to do your opening statement at 60 seconds.
Yeah. All right. Going in 3, 2, 1, start.
Right. My pick for a perfect Black Friday wingman, it's obviously the urban gladiator himself, Jay Washington. He can basically be not only my wingman, but my protector in case of anything goes in. Any crazy person, any crazy man like wants to fight with me over a copy of Detective Pikachu on Blu-ray. He would be like whoa, hold it. He would easily use his wrestling move. He could suplex someone right there. He may even elbow drop them in case if it gets too physical.
Okay.
And also I know he'll be the first wingman because he's perfect and he would not be able to betray me for an item.
Mm-hmm.
Time.
All right. Jinx, you owe me a soda. Or scratch that, you owe me a claw. Ha! On that note, hey guys.
Yeah, I can't.
So crisp, so fresh. Like well. Kelsey, what did you think about Kevin's argument in favor of Jay Washington?
Well, those are some solid points. I am a Black Friday shopper, and I have nearly been trampled because I'm 5'1". So having somebody in my corner to be like, "Yo, back up," shoving people out of my way. Yeah, I can absolutely see that. He would be quite handy on a Black Friday shopping trip.
Not to mention his athletic background. Obviously, he's training as a wrestler, and he's incredibly loyal as well. So that's definitely good to know. And, let's go into yours. Ryan, who did you choose for your wingman for Black Friday?
Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
For my wingman, I needed somebody who was not just going to go into Black Friday preparing for war, but he was also somebody, if I was going to fall down and bite the bullet, he would be able to pick up the pieces and move forward and find maybe some better deals that I didn't see before. And also at the same time, when it comes to wingmen, you kind of trust him and you don't trust him. And for that reason alone, I picked Andrew Ghai. Now, Andrew Ghai, he has a sense of style and a sense of fashion on him. So when we go in there, he's already going to know certain spots people are not going to be crowding over. No one's going to be going over to the men's warehouse, or they're going to go to the boot barn. I mean, we're going to go in there. We're going to walk in and walk out in style. But at the same time, he knows exactly where to go to if we want to get ourselves an Xbox One X, or if we just want to go in there and get a little bit of the bubbly and watch the madness ensue while everyone's trying to kill themselves over getting themselves a new Blu-ray DVD player, and we walk over everybody else on the way out.
Okay, you brought something to my attention that was kind of interesting. Like, if you're not an active participant of Black Friday shopping, but you still like to participate in the fiasco itself, just by watching as entertainment, I can appreciate that. I look forward to seeing some of those arguments there. Kelsey, what do you think?
I liked how you said he has a good sense of style, so he'd know what to pick out, because I do agree. I think he's very stylish. That would be helpful on a Black Friday shopping, because then you're not having to pick everything yourself. You trust the other person to make good choices as well. So I like that.
For sure. Let's check out, see what some of the viewers are saying right now. Damn right. All right. Lucas, definitely, thankfully, he can stay home and shop. Garth says, I have 14 cents in my bank account until December 3rd, so no shopping for me. Fair. It is an expensive.
Honestly.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna say Lucas says I treat Black Friday like New Year's Eve / day. I lock my friend's door and avoid society. I can confirm that he does. For sure. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and go into some of our arguments. We got 4 minutes. I'm excited to see what you guys have.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. All right, so I'll start the clock in 3, 2, 1, go.
I was gonna let you start, Kevin, but
let you start.
Let's go.
Here's the thing. Other than Black Friday, I mean, sure, it's gonna be a hassle going in there. But the thing is, with Andrew Ghai, as I've mentioned, he has a sense of style. He knows exactly what he wants. If he's gonna have himself a list of items to get, trust me, he's not going to rush in, wait in line outside of a mall just to freeze his balls off just because he's desperate to get a Blu-ray player. He's probably that kind of guy who works at the Target, and he's already thought ahead of putting it on layaway, already paid full in price. So by the time everyone's trying to kill each other or step over each other just to get a Blu-ray or a brand new 40-inch TV screen, he's already got that on layaway. He can just walk in, take it out while everybody throughout the ensuing panic. You want someone to protect you? I want someone who can think ahead.
But with Jay Washington, he also has the size of it. In case we walk in, I could just be behind him and he'll be able to walk in, burst through them in case. And of course, basically, with Jay Washington, I think we'll also have the ability with he'll be able to get some help from the Time Machine, Ethan Irwin and Jenny the Machine, to help out with not just prices but also strategy as well in case for shortcuts or basically a self checkout which almost nobody would take.
Let's talk about strategy there. If you wanted to talk about Jay bringing the Time Machine, I got Ghai bringing in the family. R&B in his is mainly a loudmouth. He's that guy who will set up a full distraction. People are crowding over, let's say, a couple of PS4 games. Let's just say he's gonna shout out and say, "Hey, they got 50% more down on the Xbox One." Guess what? Everybody's moving that way, while me and Ghai are slowly gonna walk over, ask the retailer for a PS4 or any of the latest games to purchase. And then you got Brandon there as the hitman. You know, he's already scoping out the competition, exactly where to go ahead. And of course, with Drew McWeeny, do I gotta say more? The guy's named the Godfather for a reason. He wants something, he's going to get it, bar none. He doesn't care if you have a child that desperately wants the latest Baby Yoda coming out for store. He's going in there and he's getting it first.
Well, actually, you have two loudmouths. It's Andrew Ghai and R&B. Do you think they will both be just shouting out loud, and eventually it'll get too carried away? Well, those two just get kicked out of the store.
As I said, Andrew Ghai with personal layaway. But when you want to talk about the Time Machine, look, Janine can definitely handle herself. But the problem is that if Jay can't direct them on what to do, especially when it comes to a Black Friday, if he's just there for muscle, then what's the point of bringing in Ethan there? Ethan's just going to be calm, cool, and relaxed, sitting in the corner while the ensuing madness is happening. He's not going to be much help to you. Ghai and Burnett may be loudmouths, but they're loudmouths for a purpose. They're meant to distract. They're meant to throw everybody off.
Yes, but here's the thing: either Irving would be the one sneaking behind the crowd, behind the crowd, and in case of the driving crowd and mob, Jay Washington will be in line, but I'll be sneaking the item behind Irwin, and he'll go around it.
4, 3, 2, 1. Time.
I wasn't going to rush anything. I wanted you to keep going.
Awesome. That was actually a lot closer than I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. Looking at these, initially I was like, okay, this one's clearly a better wingman. But then I heard some arguments and I was like, well, maybe you're kind of changing my mind over here. Kelsey, what did you think?
I definitely took this as arguments from both sides of brains over brawn. Like, how do you want to come out by things? Do you want to be strategic? Do you want to just have the muscle? And both techniques could be very helpful during Black Friday. So I'm really interested to see what the viewers think from their arguments, because I could see both sides.
For sure. There, Kevin definitely made some good points as far as, Jay being a protector. He's physically, he's athletic. He's able to kind of protect you and when you're getting these sales as well. And I didn't hear you mention any specifics about Ghai doing anything to protect as well. So that was actually more on his side. But, you mentioned, you guys have, he's very stylish. So it's not about getting the biggest stuff like more Xboxes or whatever situation. It's about finding the specific right things that you're looking out for. It's not just more for more. It's specifically what you're kind of looking for. Also, I heard you kind of mention there's like connections in retail, having things on hold and things like that, which I didn't hear any comebacks about that from Kevin. So I'm kind of interested to see how you guys come up with some of your final arguments in your closing statements, for sure. Now, again, everyone in the chat, I know there's a handful of you. Please wait until after the closing arguments until you make your final vote. And please, again, personal stuff aside, personal preferences and everything aside, we're going exclusively off these arguments.
The debates and what they presented to us.
Well, that sucks for the person I picked because I was hoping for personal bias.
I know, right? That's the only reason.
See, what I saw his name, I'm like, of course, personal bias. I'm like, I can't work with that with this one. I of course have to go with what who I think would easily work with me, and I think it's Jay Washington.
You know what?
I'm really joking. I mean, I picked Ghai because I thought he's more of the smarter choice, and I'm gonna explain more in my closing.
Yeah, we're gonna go over that.
I'm not gonna blow my wad.
Closing arguments there. Just gonna dive into some of the fan responses as well, real quickly, and so. Lucas says specifically he chose Gucci, Bobby Gucci himself, and he's going to take you to some around the actual sales and just straight up into some pack alley swap meet. So that's a whole different kind of Black Friday shopping situation right there. And a guy has the army because we are everywhere, and you're not wrong, Jeremiah. That's for sure. And for sure, Tom's been amazing, and NTS, all that good stuff, and. I know, Brian. Calm your head. I'm aware.
Don't worry, Brian. I said I got closing statements, so trust me, she's on top of it.
All right. But also can't forget, Jay Oliveira says, I take Sturger to her beauty, could get some of those good deals, and those male and female clerks wouldn't be able to say no. She's such an awesome, gorgeous woman.
Jay, have you listened to Swing the Midgets? Jesus, she's brutal.
Yeah, she will kick your ass. Yeah,
she will stare you down.
That woman is fit AF. She will like 35 on each arm.
Crap!
More buff than anyone in my family.
Ben already browbeats her husband as it is. I don't want her to browbeat me on Black Friday.
I knew I should have picked her for the food fight one.
All right, awesome. Okay, so going into the closing statements, let's hear it. I'm going to go ahead and flip the coin real fast. So, Bateman or Ghai? Let's hear it.
Tails.
Okay. And it's Ghai.
Okay.
All right, we're going to start the clock in 3, 2, 1, go.
With Washington, I pretty much mentioned how big of a forcer is. Like he can't, like he will be, but in case of certain scenario where basically like we see a bunch of craziness happen in front of us over a towel, he'll be like quickly take a pause and we'll be like, what in the hell? Oh my, we're crazy for just praying for a towel. And of course, like we are not going to be. He's going to be my enforcer, but he's not going to be like most of like carrying like six Xbox Ones, all that stuff. Like no, he's not greedy. He's strong, but also he's clever. He'll be able to talk his way out of certain situations as well. Besides using his muscles, And also in case certain situations, he might use a trash can in case.
Time.
All right. Indeed, a trash can in case.
Yes.
I mean, like, what is life? What is protection if you're not actually carrying around a trash can at all times?
It's true.
Let's be honest. All right. And for your closing statement, let's hear it, Ryan.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, start.
Over the past couple of years, Black Friday has pretty much descended into madness, where people will be hanging out in lines during Thanksgiving just so they can get their hands on the newest deals. Unfortunately, Black Friday is no longer turned into something where you can just walk into the store. You got to start planning ahead. You got to start thinking smart. And Ghai is the guy who I picked who will think smart. Not because of the fact he will protect me, but because he's going to look out for my best interest. He's going to notice that maybe I do want something like a surround sound stereo system. Instead of that, he's going to direct me to somewhere to where I can get all of that included into a PS4 that has a built-in Blu-ray, a built-in surround sound system. Or if I want to look stylish, he's going to take me to one of the best tailors out there within the Black Friday stores, get me all fitted and suited while we're planning out exactly what spots hit next, while we're walking out with all the stuff that he has already purchased on hold and from layaway.
Time.
Whammy!
I already shut up.
No, you're not. You have to say it with like the sound effects. Shut up, motherfucker! That's how you do it. And I just want to take a moment to appreciate White Claw. So crisp, so fresh.
I miss it.
And
I can't drink with you.
Claw me, bro.
There you go.
White Claw Wednesday.
All right, White Claw, the unofficial official sponsor.
We've been tagging them on Twitter. We've been asking.
Some other suggestions. You know, Roca would be an awesome choice too. Senior discounts.
Oh my god!
And Jamie says he has. I was like, almost has PTSD from working Black Fridays. I work every Black Friday and seen few fights.
I used to work in
that's
department
pretty
stores.
intense. Haskell says, I've been waiting to buy Best Buy sales to begin. 4K deals of Blu-ray and Dig. Copy 79 for top movies. Far From Home, Godzilla, Endgame. I own, of course, John Wick and others. Man, you get those DVDs, dude. You get them. And I can't forget, Dagnino would have those best fall off the truck kind of deals.
It's true.
Yeah, but how much knockoff do I really need?
Yeah.
Oh, and Lucas says, oh, I forgot about this. Yeah, I used to live directly across the street from Walmart and walked over to do Black Friday shopping, seeing all the customers push past employees to rip open pallets that weren't even for sale yet.
Yep, I've seen that
it
too.
Can get aggressive. It can get violent, and I'm here for it because this is America.
South Park predicted it right. It's pretty much winter.
Well, yeah, because the most common place where people do that is a Walmart. Nobody like you. You may see it on the Target or Best Buy, but the one place you can never see it is at a mall because there's like well, I mean, nowadays a mall, no, because nobody goes to a mall.
I slightly disagree with you, Kevin. Malls are trying to be all-inclusive with the food courts and movie theaters built inside them.
Mm-hmm.
I literally found 4 tailors inside of a mall about 20 miles away from where I live. I mean,
yeah, they want it close to next to where you buy your suits and shit. So it makes sense. Michael says, I used to teach high school every day with Black Friday. Into that, man. Dude, salute.
Oh, yeah.
Heroes work there.
All right. Okay, now you heard our closing statements. Holy cannoli. Kelsey, what are your final thoughts?
I think it both had very strong arguments. Definitely with benching with Jay, he could be able to carry a lot. It would be able to be like, just get in, have you carry everything. Ghai, though, like, you wouldn't need him to carry everything because you just get the strategic things you want. So honestly, I don't know who I pick. They're both very good arguments. I wouldn't mind having both of them as my wingmen.
I was kind of curious about is that it was kind of mentioned is that you considered Ghai as not so much a partner, but you said he's not technically a friend. Like during your debate, he's more of a I don't want to say competitor, but it's like something along those lines where you mentioned it.
Well, I was talking about one thing with wingmen in past experience. I said in my past experience with wingmen, you either trust them or you don't trust them because they
you're not so sure if you can trust them.
Yeah.
But
because you don't know if they got your back or they're in for themselves.
For sure. I mean, that's what Black Friday is. It's all about finding the best deals and all that good stuff. But you were talking about really, it's more about quality over quantity and, thinking much more strategic rather than being real quick in and out kind of thing. But Jay, you mentioned about Jay Washington, Kevin, is that, he's funny. He keeps things light, while under stress. And obviously Black Friday is a really big fucking stressful situation.
Yeah.
So he's really going to help you kind of, de-stress, with some of his humor as a comedian. But he's, like you mentioned, he's a team player. He's not greedy as well. All right, but you heard the arguments. And I'm going to double check on Facebook. There is a post. I'm going to check Facebook. Go. Any second now. Is that on Facebook? Is it on Facebook? Is it on Facebook? It's on Facebook. Everyone get back on a Facebook right now and vote. I've seen only 11 people have voted, and I see there's 13 in there. So there's people who haven't voted.
So we know people are watching. We know people are watching.
Exactly. All right, fantastic. But we're going to give it another minute or two before, they make the final numbers. And
no, the thing is, I can definitely relate to how crazy Black Friday is. I used to remember in college, it was never that hectic until maybe, I don't know. For me, it was like 2013. The moment I saw people line up like at 3 a.m. outside of a Best Buy, it was just, what the hell? What's this? And then it keeps building and building and building, and now stores are kind of getting wise to it. It's like, okay, we're going to be open until 4 or 5 a.m. just so you get your deals.
It's like the retail stores start earlier and earlier. I remember I remember being sick over Thanksgiving, and I wasn't allowed to call off on Black Friday. But because we were technically open like all night at the Mahler store, we opened at like 1 o'clock. That meant we had to be there on Thanksgiving Day, starting at like 7 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day in the evening. And my shift was like from that until like 6 a.m.
Ooh.
Brutal.
So that was a fun time. I required quite a bit of energy drinks, but I got paid overtime. So I was actually kind of happy with that paycheck. All right. So before we kind of make our checkout that, we're going to go into some stuff on here. Okay. So I voted. Great. Awesome. I didn't vote because I'm a terrible person who hates democracy. Well, okay.
Hey, 6 is good. Okay.
If you choose not to decide, you will have made a choice. When that is very true. And
as
Lucas
what Negan said, not making a
decision.
decision is a big fucking decision.
There you go. Lucas has really made it, letting me know that Alex ran a whiskey.
Ah.
Working on shopping lists in the chat, I see.
I see how it is. All right. Haskell has some serious shopping. He has plans here on Black Friday this Friday. So good luck with that for sure. And there was a little bit of confusion. Just want to clarify, the one on Facebook is the main place to vote, not so much on Twitter. So if you're going to vote, please do it there. Oh my gosh, Lucas, that is an emergency. It is an emergency in this household, Paul. It very much is. All right, so we've wasted enough time. Let's go see how the post is.
Suspension's killing me.
Oh, no, it's because of time. At the fellow Nashvilleian.
We have our winner. Son of a bitch. Put that thing away. We're not in the South. This is not what's the movie called? Oh brother, where art thou? Come on now.
Had to Schmoedown Nashville.
That's Schmoedown. All right,
I feel Nashvilleian. I approve of Schmoedown Nashville.
Schmoedown Nashville.
Schmoedown Nashville. Hey.
We forgot to bring it up with Christian too.
He has addressed it though.
Yeah.
And the winner of the second debate is.
They're gonna sneak in after Chicago.
Jay Washington from Kevin.
Yay! I win.
Congratulations.
Okay, so we're neck and neck, Kevin versus Ryan. So that means, y'all, we're going to go into our third and final question to determine who is going to be the winner of tonight's Thanksgiving edition of Schmoebate. We're that much closer to the taters. And
No tuna.
the honey baked ham. That's the real. That's what makes tonight real, guys. Let's be honest. Okay. And Kelsey, you're such a badass lady. You want to read the third and final question before we start?
I would be happy to. All right. The final question. What faction would you want to have Thanksgiving dinner with?
And that means past or present.
Yep.
Yeah.
Heads up. So I'm going to start doing this. Let's see what it is. And it is Bateman.
Okay.
Ryan.
All right.
You're up. Who would you choose?
Starting the clock in 3, 2, 1, go.
For my Thanksgiving dinner, I want it to be a memorable night, something that really, that's all the Thanksgiving's all about. Coming together, having yourself a great meal around by good people. And I picked the Fight Club for the faction I want to have Thanksgiving dinner with. I mean, to be able to share a plate and break bread with Mark and Draco, Clark Wolf, Rachel Cushing, and Emma Fight is a dream when it comes down to it, because these are great people to talk to. They love what they do for the rest of their lives. I can imagine just having an hour-long conversation about biopics with Rachel Cushing. I can talk to Clark about her podcast and about the 100 films on the AFI top list. I can have an endless debate of anime, back and forth when it comes to picking up anime with Emma Five, and of course with Mark and Draco. Being a fan of comic books, I would just love to get his insight on the creative direction and the process, the passion it takes to write your own comic book series.
Time.
Awesome. Okay.
This is the moment I would have said, I want more to say.
All right. Kevin, let's go over to you. Who did you pick for you want to spend it with?
2, 1, start.
For me, I pick with even though I'm really against them, especially the one Kalinowski, but I of course would love to have a Thanksgiving dinner with Corruption. Mostly because especially because it would be occasionally it might be a crazy one with a drunk Ken Knapsack, and especially a drunk on wine Stacey Howard. We easily chilling with Tim Franco and maybe chatting around with Chance.
Mm-hmm.
Chance. And then of course I'll be sitting up bubbly and a little bit of bubbly, let's say, while listening to Kalinowski talk about him being a two-belt champion.
Time.
Okay, so we have very different approaches to this Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah.
Kelsey, if you were to dine, not to be involved in this, involved in this one, in this one, who would you choose?
See, that one is so hard. If it was me, I would pick the dungeon, just because I just love those personalities. But out of those two choices, I don't know, because on one side you have very mentally stimulating conversation that would be like life-changing in my opinion. The other side, you're having a fun party. I mean, like, it's gonna be maybe not memorable. Yeah. Who knows? You might not remember the next day because you have so much fun. So there's just so many cool options here.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to mention that we're also in this household, we're out of whiskey. So being invited to a drinking party would, it would be a fun time, for sure. Yeah, but we have very different approach. This idea that, you are talking to potentially with Ryan, members of the Five Club, you're talking about the podcast, you're talking about these awesome movies and comic book movies and just creative writing and everything in general for the comic book world. But also with Kevin, you're getting a lot of these really fun personalities that, you can talk about, being involved in Schmoedown. You can, not to mention, you can only imagine the stories that really emerge from a drunken knapsack or a drunken Stacy, because they've both said, wine and, cocktails are their favorite. They love to drink them as much as possible. So, it's definitely two very different environments for sure. I'm excited to see y'all debate. Few more answers from our group stars. Wild berries.
Somebody thought we got hacked for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. A little bubbly indeed. I'd pick the dungeon. So you have definitely someone in a similar group, Kelsey, for sure. Tony says, what was the DC movie news team called? Because food, TV shows. Oh, there you go. So then you can guarantee, delicious food there.
It was the League, Tony. It was Adam Gertler, Johnny LaQuaso, Roxy, and Mike.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's very different environments for sure. But I'm excited to see y'all debate it. Okay, and let's put on the clock. Let's hear y'all debate.
All right, let's pull up the clock. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Look, Kevin, while what you're describing is something like what might be like a party environment with having Kevin and Stacy getting drunk. Eventually, it's kind of like going on a roller coaster. You're gonna have your highs, but then that bottom's coming, and by the time you get to the bottom, it's gonna devolve itself into nothing but a shout factory with Ken, with Grace, with Stacy involved. I mean, the fact you want to have Mike talk about him being two belts, he's pretty much that one family member at Thanksgiving you don't want talking about themselves. And it's going to be like, oh, it's supposed to be all of us getting together. No, I'm kidding. It's going to be all about me in this situation. And to say that my situation with the Five Club won't divulge, look, Emma, Rachel, and Clark have talked about stories of them getting together, drinking wine, and, having some heated. And I wouldn't be surprised if some shouting matches happen. I'm not saying my Thanksgiving is going to be perfect. I'm pretty sure some things will happen. Maybe some food might get thrown, but ultimately at the end, we're all just together having ourselves like a nice, fun Thanksgiving experience. With yours, I feel like I don't want to go back to that dinner.
With mine, I see it's not just like arguing, but it'll be like entertainingly arguing, like it's. Sure, I'm gonna have some disagreements with them, but that's the point of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is like you're thankful for the people you spend, and sure you're gonna you disagree with them at times, but then again, you're here for the love, the support, the food, the drinking. Of course, we'll get this fatter at times, but in the end, we're just there celebrating. That's the point of Thanksgiving. It's just celebrating with the people.
That's exactly what I imagine with Five Club and the personalities there. I mean, when they get passionate about, when we see Mark, Emma, Rachel, and Clark get passionate about something, they get very passionate about it. I mean, I'm not going to be all in agreement when it comes with my choice of movies with Clark. I mean, my biggest issue would be trying to get Clark to watch Hacksaw Ridge, even though she hates Mel Gibson. My biggest argument would be with Emma when it comes to anime TV shows and movies, even though anime is a highly diverse subject. It's just, if I go to Corruption Thanksgiving dinner, sure, it's going to be fun seeing Ken just get a little drunk and talking about truth and destiny. But ultimately, in the end, with Mike just talking about himself, Tim and Chance, I don't know what the hell Tim and Chance is going to do. It's just going to be like, what am I going to make out of this? The only takeaway is, Ken and Stacy. But with my party, you get a lot of takeaways with the people you're sharing it with.
What do you think with Mike? He's not going to just not only talk about himself, but he's going to talk about at least why the Snyder Cut is going to needs to come out. Why does he love Batman BVS.
Mhm.
It's like I'm more just like I'm sure I'm gonna get him to talk about how great himself just because of like I know he's going to do it, and so I just want to egg him on about it. But
But you
at
almost
times
seem
I'm
like
just gonna.
it just seems like egging on, and ultimately with personalities involved, sooner or later egos will clash, and it just seems like your dinner feels more volatile compared to some.
20 seconds.
I mean, it just feels like a powder cake. It's gonna blow up sooner or later.
Like, well, sure, Eagle Clash. I mean, I think most Thanksgiving gets that, but this one is like we know are going to check, but we're here, but we know we're going to have
Time.
fun.
And that's ultimately what we want.
Yeah,
I would love to go to both of these parties.
I know, right? That's how I feel too. It's like I am sold on both of them for different reasons.
Absolutely. Those were really great debates, guys. I would love to go to either of those. Thanksgiving party or a regular party like that. I would love to just hang out with all these characters, everyone in between, for sure. Kelsey, what were some of the main points that you really jumped out at you?
I did like the argument about how if you did go with corruption, it could dissolve into chaos with just how many strong personalities are in the group. But I did also like the counter argument but that's kind of just what Thanksgiving is, and that's what you do with your family, and it's fun. And I do feel like it would be, even if it is kind of chaotic, it'd still be fun to hang out with them. So I do see both sides of that argument, but they were very good arguments.
For sure. I thought that really contradicted each other really, really well. I was also kind of curious about, really kind of mentioning some of the stories, the different kinds of stories. But also you mentioned, Ryan, that you would really kind of hone in on certain conversations and debates that you would love to have with Fife in particular, with anime and things like that. And how at the end of the day, you're probably all going to end up with a big, family hug kind of situation. But also, Kevin, you mentioned it's going to be very much a celebratory, kind of party as well. It's, having had the belts for a while, with KO as well, it's, they have a lot to talk about as well. They have so much to reflect on as, as a team, as a faction. So, you guys are really kind of balancing out each other really, really well, for sure. And before we go into closing statements, just kind of hanging out here in some of the comments. Who ate all the marshmallows off the top of sweet potatoes? Ken!
That's why you put the marshmallows into the sweet potato dish, because so then they can't pick at it.
That sounds nasty.
So,
I'm not gonna
Hey,
lie.
that's the way-
I imagine
that's how you
the
trick-
dinner would be a roast of a bunch of other people who aren't there. That would be and Jake says, "What are you thankful for?" JT says, "Christopher Columbine, Discovering America." Damn it, he's funny. He's like low key, like mega funny. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jeremiah, for hanging out with us for a bit. We thank you. Thanks, and we'll see you soon. But yeah, and at least Roca roasted Chance to his face at Houston at the bar, which I'm very sad I missed out on. Elvira says, with the Horseman, you would have someone that came in on the Mayflower, Mr. J. Roca. Damn!
That's getting hot on Roca.
Which part of Horseman is he talking about then?
Rough. Between this one and the other one. Come on now. That's mean. All right. All right, fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna go into the closing statements. Where my thingamajig go? Oh, wait, one second. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and toss it. Okay. And it is Bateman.
I really put too much makeup on for this.
Bateman's coming up a lot.
I know. I'm like, is this like weighted or something?
Yeah, because it knows which side it's supposed to be cheering for, which is Team
This
Bateman.
is just like Roca and Nost every time it lands on Superman.
All right. So let's hear it. What you have to say about your final argument in favor of Fife Club.
Okay,
Let's
sorry.
go.
3, 2, 1, start.
I don't want the perception of my Thanksgiving dinner with Five Club to be construed as if this is going to be some like quaint little get together that you would see in a Hallmark Thanksgiving commercial, even though it's something you kind of want to imagine. But the moment is the moment I want to get into talking about topics with these are going to blare. I mean, tempers are going to flare, personalities are going to clash, but ultimately, just like what Kevin says, it's all about just having fun. Good debate conversations. I mean, I can talk endless. Sometimes I can talk subjects with family members that will immediately just start going off the rails, either with sports, and of course you can forgive them. But the thing is, with the Five Club, they've built a bond together. They know exactly how heated things are going to get, and ultimately they remember they are friends. They're like a family. With corruption, it kind of feels as if one thing goes off the end, you have no idea if they're going to resolve it. With the Five Club, they are going to resolve it because they did not forget that Thanksgiving is just about being with each other, kicking it, having fun, good times. White Club.
All about kicking it. Good time. And I want to kick it every time I get Thanksgiving. I would love for that to happen. I don't know if it will happen, but all can dream. All right, Kevin. You got 60 seconds for your final closing statements. Let's hear it.
Yep. All right. In 3, 2, 1, begin.
With corruption, there's more to it. Like, we get to hear stories from not just a former Inner Kingdom and team champion, but also a former Star Wars champion about their passion about Kent's passion with Star Wars, or even Stacy's surprise bracket buster when he beat Riley, when she beat Riley, when she beat Ellis. Her wins, especially Chance's debut match. We like to hear story from them. And sure there'll be a type where we get too crazy, but in the end, like would they easily blame each other? No, they'll end up saying like, yes, we made a mistake. Plus, also a drunken Ken telling a bunch of nonsense stories.
Is a drunk uncle sketch from SNL.
You know what? I would love for that to happen. I would pay for a drunken uncle sketch. Or a down by the river sketch.
He was a drunken Bowie Fights champion.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, let's hear some stuff to some of our listeners, some of their comments. Alex, you're going to be fine. We worked it out, so UDD for my family's Thanksgiving, LTD for your Thanksgiving. Teamwork, guys. That's what it's all about. Team fucking work. Also, can we get a couple of Lucas yelling closing statements in round 1? All right, fantastic. Okay, but yeah, Ken with the news. Woo! All right. What's right now? Oh, okay. And whammy. So we already, unfortunately, for the second one for round 2, it actually went in the Facebook poll for round 2 is now technically in favor of Ghai, but just a little late. But those votes don't matter because they didn't vote during the proper time. They don't matter.
I don't know if anyone recently seen the family in the wild, and I don't know if it's back into the family, but it's pretty much the situation.
Wait, and are we sure that those people, those late votes, are people who actually watched it and not actual
Ghai fans? We don't know. It's true. We don't know. That's why. Maybe it's people making fake accounts to vote. Who knows? But yeah, so some of my different notices as well is that, like you mentioned, it's not just going to be like a Hallmark movie, Family Thanksgiving, like you mentioned. You're definitely going to have some deeper conversations, as well. And Kevin, like you mentioned, it's for you. It's all about a day to remember. Thanksgiving. A Thanksgiving dinner with corruption is a Thanksgiving dinner similar to a real Thanksgiving with your family. That includes a drunken uncle or a drunken auntie. Oh, for sure. So good stuff and bad for sure. All right. So, okay, those are your closing statements. Everyone, I'm going to double check everything's good to go. I assume so because Jake is in charge of putting these votes together, him and Danny. So thank you so much for doing this. You guys are amazing and making sure they're up and running and they're timely. So I can't thank you enough. So we do have several votes ready to go. We're going to give that another 2 minutes or so before we find out who won today. Yeah. So what do you guys think? I mean, like before, we wrap it up and everything, we get that. I mean, how do you guys feel about today in total?
It went well. Surprisingly, I think it went well. I expected it to do worse.
I think you did great, Kevin.
Kevin, you are doing very well. Trust me, man. Just never be intimidated by the timer. And trust me, heck, you convinced everyone why Jay was better than Ghai, which was surprising to me because I thought Ghai would be smarter. But you argued very well for Jay, honestly, man. So, and you definitely did argue well for Brendan as well, with him being cunning compared to Kevin, who was just very like Darth Vader-esque. The moment he steps in, shit's going down. So, trust me, Kevin, you know how to argue your picks. So, trust me, you're doing good.
And also, Kevin, you lost your first match on Schmoebate, but you're coming in strong on this one. So how do you feel about your second match as we kind of wrap it up?
Honestly, I felt much better with this during the second match because I'm like, I never had a history with the food fight. But with Black Friday, I have history. I love going to Black Friday, though I never see the crazy stuff. So I usually follow about where the crazy stuff happens. So I'm like, I make sure about who's the who would be perfect for it, and what would the perfect strategy is for them.
Yeah. I mean, you can have to go with personal experiences for sure. So that's definitely smart when it comes to like putting together a strategy when it comes to debate. Kelsey, thank you so much for being a bomb ass babe throughout this whole process.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Well, I mean, like we're just like watching people fight, and that's always a fun time.
I know, right?
It's like Jersey Shore or something.
Draw blood. Let's do it. That's why I like hockey. It's the only sport I really watch. It's like, yeah. Punch him in the face.
Bloodlust is real. It's like watching gladiators go at each other. All right, awesome. Okay, so I think it's a good amount of time, to get some votes, and then I'm gonna see. We have a handful of votes in, and everyone that's watching here, I see a few people didn't vote. What the fuck is up, guys? Come on now. And we have your winner of today's Thanksgiving edition of Schmoebate is Ryan Payne, Ultra Instinct, winning the final debate of 7 votes in favor of the Fight Club versus 3 votes for corruption.
Very good job.
Oh, man.
All right. So that means with winning 2 debates for today's Schmoebate, essentially, you won. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Look, Kevin, you really put me in a hill there. The moment you started talking about Ken and Stacy, and of course, seeing how Stacy is with Rose in a match, it's just, oh God, I gotta start punching up now. Trust me, man.
Yeah.
Take away anything from this, the best way you stacked a good deck against me to play up against. And honestly,
and that's was your first one, so always have to remember that. Once you get the first one out of the way, it's a million times easier going from there. But also, you lost your first Schmoebate just a few weeks ago, Ryan, and so you're coming back strong with this one. So congratulations on your first, Schmoebate win, especially on our Thanksgiving edition. So that's all right. Kelsey, you want to read some of these little comments from our comment section? Any of them jumping out to you? And also, thank you to Danny for doing the Facebook post stuff for the poll. We appreciate it. You're amazing. But any of the comments jumping out at you, aside from Lucas Shashak, who's clearly a weenie?
Just lots of congratulations, which is Awesome.
I think I might be the Ultra Panda now.
You're
But I swear to you, if I'm back on here,
yeah.
I will paint myself. I will do correct painting as a panda.
Yeah, and as everyone's
Right.
saying, it was a good debate tonight. Like that's what makes this a good show. Is the better the debates, the more intriguing it is. So good job, guys. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And also, thank you again for everyone involved, everyone watching. We really appreciate it on this. It's very late Thanksgiving Eve. So thank you for hopping on and voting and participating. It's always fun to hang out, with the Action Fam and, beyond. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and hop off. So everyone, we're going to go ahead and just say where we can reach you. Kevin, let's say our second competitor today, where can we find you on the interwebs and what you're kind of working on today?
You can find me at Twitter, at Blue Lantern 18 on Twitter, Darkman 19 on Instagram, and both for me, not much doing anything. Yeah, you can only if you really want to catch me up. On Twitter, I have like a couple of people I mod for. Castle Runs, Jupiter, Gingerbeaka, Weirdlings. All four of those people I mod for them. Whenever they stream. Oh, and also that Ruby Rod. May try streaming as I do. May try streaming on in the future and on the year 2020 on Twitch, twitch.tv Darkman 119 in the year 2020. Haven't given it a proper month yet, but might happen.
A lot sounds like a lot of stuff going up for you here, especially in the new year. So best of luck with that. And Kelseykins, my bestie for the resty, where can we reach you?
You can find me at KelseyKins90 on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on the Call to Action Podcast Instagram, which I am in charge of. TeePublic, get your merch during all these Black Friday sales. You don't have to get out of your house and go to the store. You can just click a button online and it'll get shipped to you. So definitely look on that. You also can find me on Transveil. It's a D&D campaign. We're a little bit on hiatus right now for the holidays, but we will be back. And I can't wait to get back to embarrassing myself on camera.
Woo! That's the best, isn't it? It's our favorite. All right. And our winner for tonight's match, congratulations again. And you, where can we find you on the interwebs and what you're working on?
Well, everyone can go on Facebook and look for Jack of All Trivia. Buddy of mine, we have started a watch along to the Star Wars movies, counting up to the Rise of Skywalker. All the links for our watch alongs are on the Jack of All League Trivia Facebook page. So just click on them and just watch as down talk or try to find beautiful moments in the prequels and Solo, which was recently we streamed today. And also, if you guys like more debates, go to TMG Entertainment. Specifically, keep a lookout because I have a late TV fights match to determine who will be the late TV fights champion against my opponent, Jay Burns. And then I have a number one contenders match, hopefully praying for a number one contenders match. I've been begging who's ever in charge to get me in a match for a chokeslam so I can challenge Nico Suave Rigoli for his championship. So I'm definitely prepping myself on a lot of debates. So please keep your eyes open.
Well, sounds like you're getting much more comfortable with debates in general, and definitely starting from there. And I am Alex Mack, known as Mac Daddy up here, and you can find me on Twitter, the Call to Action page. That's our Twitter handle. And so if you're interacting with Twitter on there, you're interacting with more. So definitely do that. We have a really cool holiday exhibition match coming up in early mid-December with I'm going to be hosting with our very special guest host, Alonzo Duralda. So it's going to be amazing. Hold up. So it's going to be so good. Yeah. But we're going to be holding our auditions for those here pretty soon. So stay tuned if you're into that. But yeah, TeePublic Facebook group. Please check that out. And if you haven't liked and subscribed to our channel, please do, for the love of God. Please. We would forever appreciate it. But yeah, thanks again. And we'll see you soon somewhere on Call to Action Podcast throughout our pages. So, thanks again. And we'll see you maybe at Spectacular.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.